Yah willing, we're going to talk about rewards for Yahweh's servants. Rewards. Who likes rewards? I like rewards, because my favorite day is the Sabbath day. But do you know what my second most favorite day is? Payday. I like payday, because on Thursday, there's so much money in their account, and then on Friday, payday, there's more money. I like that. I like payday. Payday is nice. And then after that, my other favorite days, well, I don't know. Payday is pretty nice. But the Sabbath is first. So, when Yahshua comes, he will come with rewards. And the scriptures tell us that Yahweh rewards his saints. And we heard in the reading by Brother Byron, Revelation 22:12. What does it say, saints? And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is to give every man or everyone according as his work shall be, or according to the work that you have done. So everyone will be given a reward. Yahweh is a rewarder. That's who he is. He's a rewarder. He says in Hebrews 11:6, what does it say? But without faith, it is impossible to please him. Yahweh, for he who comes to God must believe that he is, he exists, and that he what? Is a rewarder of who? Of those diligently seek him. So rewards aren't given to everybody, right? I can't just show up to Highmark on one day. Where's my paycheck? You don't work here. You can't get a paycheck if you don't work here. Are you crazy, right? He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. And every single word is important. You see, there's no part of the law that's standing on earth. Not even the littlest tittle or the littlest, everything matters. So seeking him and diligently seeking him are different. They are different. So now, we've been talking about how Yahweh rewards the saints. But Yahweh also sits as judge over the whole earth. And as the judge, he judges or he gives sentences. Those sentences are rewards. It is a reward. Psalm 75 and verse 7 says, but Elohim is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. We just heard Brother Walt say that the president is really elected by Yahweh. He's the one who sits, puts kingdoms up and he sets them down. It's Yahweh's doing. I'm not going to get political, because I don't know how things are flowing. The election was just a few weeks ago, and I don't want to be stoned since we just talked about stoning. Okay, so let's just move on. Woo. Psalm 28 and verse 4. It says, give to them according to their work and according to the evil of their deeds. Give to them according to the work of their hands. Render them their due reward. So there's a reward for righteous work and for evil work. Right? I just said how my second most favorite day is payday. And the payday for sin is what? The wages of sin is death. Death. Payday is death. And we don't want to be that. Sin is not good for anybody. So don't do it. Okay? Like they tell you about drugs, just say no. About sin, just say no. No. Now, there are two kinds of people in the whole world. Just two. I know you've been told many things. There are only two kinds of people. Listen to Brother Jeremy, There are only two kinds of people. The scriptures expresses them in different ways, but it's talking about the same thing. Believer or unbeliever. Israelite or Gentile. Wise or child of God or light or in, outside. It's the same thing. They mean the same thing. They mean believer and unbeliever, one who follows Yahweh and one who does not. Now, we're going to talk about rewards, but there are also gifts. Now, gifts and rewards they're not the same things. Yahweh gives gifts, and he also gives rewards, but gifts and rewards are different. Rewards are based on what you do. Rewards are wages. If you work for a company, they pay you, you earn. You know, that's your reward for the work, for the labor that you provided for the company. If you have a business, you're providing a service or a product, you get a reward. There are profits in the business. You don't get paid if you don't do the work. That's just how it is, you know. You don't get paid if you don't do the work. In other words, I heard somebody say, you know, you go to the boss and say, you know, I would like a raise. And the boss said, well, you want to be paid more? Well, why do you want to be paid more for doing the same thing? Want to be paid more? Work more, you know. But that was what the boss said. Now, gifts, see, rewards are earned, but gifts are not earned. They're not earned. Gifts, rewards are given to servants for their actions. Gifts are given to children because of the grace of their father. For example, an inheritance. So Yahweh gives gifts to his children. It's not something you work for. It's completely by Yahweh's grace. Believers in Yahweh are children of Yahweh. Do we believe that? Believers in Yahweh are children. And what does John 1:12 say? But to all who did receive him, who? Yahshua, who believed in his name, he gave the right or the power, the authority to become the children of Elohim. When we believe in Yahshua, believe, to acknowledge and to do, he gave the right to become the children of Elohim. Only Yahshua can do that, because it's an adoption. You know, a kid can't just show up at my place and say, you're my daddy. No, your dad. I have to adopt you. You have to be adopted, and we are adopted into Yahweh's kingdom because of the work of his Son. Bless his holy name. Those who believe must also receive the Holy Spirit. Then they are sealed or marked as children of the Most High. We all have marks from our parents. People say, you look like your mother, you look like your father. That's a mark. It shows you are related to that person. Half of your DNA comes from your mother and half from your father. When we go back down, a quarter comes from one of your grandparents. And we go all the way back, we all have an imprint from Adam. All of us. And we are all related to Noah. All of us. All of us. So, we are adopted into the family of Yah, and we can call him Father. By his grace, he gives us an inheritance. You don't work for an inheritance. An inheritance is a gift. So who knows what our inheritance is? Okay, not the elders. Who knows what our inheritance is? What is it? I do know we have eternal life. We have the glories and the riches of heaven, the peace with the Father. But there is one that is the grandest of all inheritances. What is it? No. Okay. It is Yahweh himself. Deuteronomy 10 verse 9 says, therefore Levi, meaning the priests, have no portion or inheritance with his brothers. The Levites had no land. They had like the cities of refuge, but they didn't not have like a whole portion of land with the brothers. Who was Levi's inheritance? Yahweh. Yahweh is his inheritance, as Yahweh your Elohim said to him. Now we are priests in the new covenant, right? We are all priests. I can stand before you here and pray to Yahweh on your behalf. That's what a priest does. right? And we can all do that. Anybody who has a relationship with Yahweh can stand and pray for believers as priests. So, and the priesthood of Yahshua is greater than the priesthood of the Levites. Yahweh is our inheritance. He's our portion. When I was in Sunday school, when I was younger, I heard this story of this rich person, this rich man was asking his servants what they wanted in his house, and everybody would say, okay, and he was willing to give them anything. One said, I want the house. That house is just so nice, has so many windows, and it's just such a beautiful house. One said, you know what? I want all your cars. I want all your cars. And then the third one thought, what should I say? And said, I want you. So the third servant chose the master himself. And so all that the master had, that servant had. Yahweh is our inheritance. He's our goal. So whatever is his becomes ours. Now, we don't work for that. That's grace. So this salvation we have is so great. So great. I recommend going through the study that Sister D took us through. How so great is salvation. So in Galatians 3 verse 28, it says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is no male or female. No? We are all one in Yeshua. You see, the women could not inherit anything. Only the firstborn inherited, I think it was like 2/3. And then the secondborn, I think like 1/3. And then after that, I don't know. So if you were born number 7, too bad, you know. And the ladies had trouble, you know. They could inherit perhaps if the man had no sons, but women usually had nothing. But so do you know what Galatians 3:28 says? There's neither Jew, no Greek, no male, no female. Do you know what that means? It means women are elevated to the position of sons, but not only sons, to firstborn sons, so they inherit, just like you were the firstborn son. We inherit like Yeshua. I mean, this is just so great. This is, let's give Yahweh praise, please, because he is worthy, deserving of all our praise. Whew. Believers are children of Yahweh, but they're also servants. We're also servants of Yahweh. Yahweh has called us to good works. We are born again to serve him. To serve him. Just as Messiah was both a son and a servant, we also who belong to Messiah are sons and servants of Yahweh. Messiah himself said in Mark, for even the Son of Man. When Yeshua says Son of Man, it may be translated as son, a person born of a man. But if you really look at how Yeshua spoke, that Son of Man is referring to Daniel 7, in which the Son of Man sits at the right hand of Yahweh. So he's really referring to himself as God, as Elohim. So for even the Son of Man, so this is the greatest person ever born to man. Even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So we who are born again, because we are born again after his pattern. Yeshua is the firstborn from the dead. We're going to be glorified like he was glorified. So he is the firstborn from the dead. So if he is a son and a servant, that's who we are too. So to think that the kingdom of heaven is just a place where you just come and warm the pews, or you just come and do nothing. I'm sorry, but that's simply not the truth. It's not the truth. We're going to focus on the rewards we get as servants of the Most High. We are co-laborers or co-workers with Yahweh. We are not being called to do nothing. We have been called to work. The work that we do has an impact on the rewards we will get as servants. We're going to go through 1 Corinthians 3:4-7, and that should be our main passage. So in 1 Corinthians 3, verse 4, it says, "For when one says, I follow Paul, and another, I follow Apollos, are you not being merely human, as in not spiritual?" So here, Paul is writing to the Corinthian church, and he's about to explain to them about work. In other words, saying, I follow Paul, or I follow Apollos. And he's saying, you're being merely human. You're not being spiritual. You are looking at the flesh. You're looking at the person instead of seeing, well, who is this person serving? Right? Who is this person serving? So, verse 5, he says, "What then is, and what is Paul? Who are they? Servants through whom you believed, as the Lord, Yahshua, assigned to each." So Paul and Apollos are servants, and Yahshua gave them these jobs to do. Verse 6, what does 6 say? "I planted." And what did Apollos do? He watered, but Elohim gave the growth. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only Elohim who gives the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one. Why are they one? They are working for the same master. They're doing the same job. See, Yahweh has this huge field, right? He's the husbandman, or the keeper of the garden, has a huge field, and he has servants working all over. And each one is doing a different job. So to say that, I follow this person, but not this person, you're looking at the flesh. Looking at the flesh. But look at who is it that they are serving. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each will receive his wages according to what? According to his labor. So what you do in the kingdom matters. What you do in the kingdom matters. Paul had a job to plant. That was the calling that Yahweh had for him. To go and plant, meaning to build churches, to preach the gospel. Apollos came and he watered. He preached the word to them to strengthen the believers, but they're working for one person, Yahweh. Verse 9, what does it say? "For we are Elohim's fellow workers." You are Elohim's field, Elohim's building. That is the church. We are each given work to do in the kingdom of Elohim. Fellow workers, and you are Elohim's field, Elohim's building. We're all called to work for him. So, verse 10 says, "According to what? To the grace of Elohim given to me, like a skilled master builder, I laid a foundation, and someone else is building upon it. Let each one take care how he builds upon it." So Paul says, according to the grace of Elohim given to me. Each one has a job to do. But Yahweh has given you a grace, a certain amount of ability to do the work that he has given you. So you say, Jeremy sings, but that person sings better. We're singing to the same Elohim. To the same Elohim. And so we act human when we say that, this preacher is better than this other one. They're working for the same person. We're working for the same Elohim. But each one is given grace to do the work that Yahweh has given you. That's why we must know what is that spiritual gift that Yahweh has given you to do the work. And he says, let each one take care of how he builds upon it. All the work is to edify the church. So Paul says, as a skilled master builder, laid a foundation, and someone else, Apollos, is building upon it. What is this foundation? Verse 11. For no one can lay a foundation other than that which is laid, which is Yahshua the Messiah. So this building is based on salvation in Yahshua. Hello? Are we there, saints? Are we there? Hello? This building is based on Yahshua. So it is the church, and we build upon it every work that believers are given to do, to edify the church. Verse 12. Now, if anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each one's work will become what? Manifest, for the day will disclose it, because it will be revealed by fire, tested, and the fire will test what sort of work each one has done. So Paul here, he's writing out how fire, if you put wood, hay, or straw in the fire, I mean, Brother Walt will tell you, he likes fires, as in, burning things up. He's not an arsonist, as far as I know. Yeah. But he likes fires. And when we go, Brother Walt is he's given to hospitality. He knows how to make you feel, I think, I hope you don't want me saying this, but I think that's one of your gifts. You know how to make the saints comfortable when they come to your home. So that is an unofficial invitation to Brother Walt's house. Okay? If you want to be warm in this winter, he knows how to put up a good fire. But why? Well, wood burns. It will burn, and then it becomes black, and it becomes ash. And it's no good. It's no good. But when you put gold in the fire, what happens to it? Refined. What does refining mean? Impurities are burned off, so it shines brighter. The same thing with silver. And then precious stones. Precious stones, if you raise it high enough, they could burn. But still, these are things that fire doesn't, at normal temperatures does not destroy, but it makes better. And gold we know has been a precious metal for millennia. So every work that you do in the kingdom of Yahweh will be tested. And this fire, we know that Yahshua is the consuming fire, and that he will test your work, the work that each one has done, to see if it's gold, silver, precious stones, or if it's just wood, hay, and straw. It just burns up. Verse 14. If the work that anyone has built on the foundation, if the work that you have done survives. Now, please note, work anyone has built on the foundation, on Yahshua. Because there is work that's being done, I'm telling you right now, work being done that is not on the foundation. And like you can't go to a place, ask for a paycheck when you don't work there. If you're not building on the foundation, there's no reward. There's no reward. If that survives, he will receive a reward. 15. But if anyone's work is burnt up, he will suffer loss, though he himself will be saved, but only as through fire. So your work will be burnt up because you did worthless work, but you'll be saved as through fire. But it's work done on the foundation, and it's also work attempted, work done. So this is not saying somebody can just, at least I'll be in the kingdom and do nothing. Because we're going to read a parable at the end, and we'll see that if Yahweh gives you a job to do, you should do it. You should do it. You can't be afraid of your boss, and he's going to fire you if you don't do the work. What about Yahweh? He's the ultimate boss. We just heard that don't be afraid of one who could kill you, but be afraid of one who, after you've been killed, can destroy the body and soul in hell. So, if anyone's work is burnt up, you will suffer loss. But this is somebody who worked on the foundation, tried, put forth an effort. And then verse 16 to end that, do you not know that you are Elohim's temple and that Elohim's spirit dwells in you, as individually and corporately as a church? If anyone destroys Yahweh's church, personally or corporately, Elohim will destroy him. For Elohim's temple is holy, and you are that temple. We build on the foundation, which is Messiah. So what is work that is gold and silver and precious stones? Huh? Look at all that gold and silver and precious stones. Let's look at examples of gold standard work. Gold standard work. 2 Timothy 4, 5 through 8. This is Paul speaking to his spiritual son, Timothy. He says, "As for you, always be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, and fulfill your ministry." Fulfill your ministry. And then Paul says in verse 6, "For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure has come." This is Paul figuratively, I think, saying that he's about to be beheaded, poured out as a drink offering. I think history says that's how he died. But what does Paul say, right, in verse 7? "I have" what? "Fought the good fight. I have" verse 8, "Henceforth there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing." And we know what Yahweh says, right? To love him is to obey him and to do his will. So there is a crown of righteousness. Now, we don't serve Yahweh for the crown. I mean, we serve him because we love him. So out of that compelling love for him, we serve him. It is a labor of love, not a labor of duty. In the beginning, as we're getting to know Yahweh, it might seem dutiful. Oh, I got to keep all these commandments. And you got to learn how to keep the Sabbath and how to make sure that you're ready by 5 o'clock on Friday in the winter. And, but you're learning and you have this. So afterwards, it becomes a love because now you know who Yahweh is. And you serve him because you love him, not because it's a duty. Duty is never really, really nice. Never, I got to do a job that I don't like, but I got to do it. I mean, even if the paycheck is nice, but afterward, it just becomes like, I could be doing something else, right? But if it's out of love, then it doesn't feel like work. So we go back to verse 7, Sister Charity. "I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." All these are verbs. I fought, finished, kept. Henceforth, because of that, Paul can say with humility, "There is laid up for me the crown of righteousness." He's not boasting about this because Paul, he knew you can't serve Yahweh in the flesh. You can only serve him in the spirit because Yahweh and flesh, they don't mix. That is gold standard work. Paul was given a ministry to do as an evangelist. He fought the good fight. You could read 2 Corinthians. He fought a good fight. I tell you. And he finished the race. Right? I mean, if you start a job and then you quit in the middle, and then, it's a good thing that, in this country, you get paid by the hour. So you still get paid for the hours that you worked. But Yahweh, he gives you a huge paycheck at the end. Now, if you quit the job, you're not on the roster there's no paycheck. You quit. you quit the job. There's no paycheck. Right? I have finished the race. You got to finish. And you have to keep the faith. Keep the faith. Crown of righteousness. We're going to jump to 1 Peter verse 5. This is Peter talking. And Peter was an elder. And he was, I believe, the head pastor of the church in Jerusalem. Yahshua told him, "Feed my sheep. Feed my sheep." So, 1 Peter 5:1. "So I exhort the elders among you as a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Messiah, as well as a partaker in the glory that is going to be revealed. Do what? Shepherd the flock of Elohim. The flock, the sheep, the building, Yahweh's property, the same thing. Yahweh's people, the church, that is among you, exercising oversight, not under compulsion, I got to do this, but willingly, as Elohim would have you, not for shameful gain. There are pastors who are, they got big dollars. I don't know how they, maybe Pastor Michael, we could get a jet, instead of having to load the bus driving down for tabernacles. We could fly down there in a few hours. We should get a jet. But unless Yahweh truly is leading you, but I really, look, let me just move on here. Shepherd the flock that is among you, exercise oversight. Not for shameful gain, but eagerly. It's a service of love to Yahweh. Not domineering and forcing people and over those in your charge, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the unfading crown of glory. See, but you gotta, the crown of glory is nice. And yes, hallelujah, sorry for stopping your praise. But if we go back to verse 2, you gotta shepherd the flock. And you gotta see how Yahshua shepherded. He's the good shepherd, so we follow his example. And you have to exercise oversight. So you say, Pastor Mac, he has to call me. He calls me all the time, and I just want to do my own thing. There's no such thing in the church. Nobody does their own thing. Not even the pastors. Yes, we do his thing. You are supposed to be watched. There are wolves among. There are wolves and sheep. Sheep get eaten by wolves. And there's a lion out there desiring to devour. Oversight. Being examples to the flock. And the flock should watch the examples and not be a difficult sheep. Difficult. And having to sheep, be humble. Easy to be led. Sometimes sheep can be, bull-headed. You're a sheep. You're not a bull. Be sheep-headed. Easy to, if we're all following the chief shepherd, then follow him. And it should be easy for the elders to lead you. But because of what they do, they receive an unfading crown of glory. But my point here, saints, is that one should not expect a reward from Yahweh unless you are doing what Yahweh says. And that expecting what Yahweh says you should expect. Now, the work that Yahshua the Master will honor is work that is built on him. It is work that edifies the church. Edifies, builds up the church. So what is your ministry then? Your ministry is gold standard work, but you have to know what it is. We go back to 2 Timothy 4:5, just the next slide down. As for you, always be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. There, Paul is laying out. These are like bullet points. Be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. That is your spiritual gifting. So we are all given a spiritual gift for the edification of the church. Do you know what your spiritual gift is? Because it is by that your work will be judged. Your spiritual gift. So, I ask the question, what if I am doing something now? Is what I'm doing now my spiritual gift? Because sometimes we don't know what your spiritual gift is. So, is what I'm doing now my spiritual gift? How do you know if what you are doing now in the church is your spiritual gift? How do you know? Is it edifying the church? Is it edifying the church? Because I may enjoy singing. I like singing. But is the church edified? Is the church edified? Saints, see, the thing is, though, we don't want to meet Yahshua and then come to find out that all the work that you did was straw. It just got burnt up. Is what you're doing edifying the church? Is it building the church up? This means everything that you do, when you encourage the saints, when you play the keyboard, play the guitar, when you stand up, testifying. What am I testifying about? Is this edifying the church, or am I just telling you how my week went? Huh? I could just say, well, I did this and I did that, and is it edifying the church? Because we're in Yahweh's house here. We're in Yahweh's house on his day to do his things. So is what I'm doing edifying the church? Is it building the church up? How do you find out? You could ask. The elders have a job to be overseers. So I would go to them and ask, because they have to know. It's their job. It's their job. They have to know. Is what I'm doing edifying the church? Because I may like to do something, but say, this is not my church. I am not standing here because of what I want to do. I must be up here because I was called by Yahweh. Otherwise, I'm in the wrong place. And no matter how good the preaching is, no matter how wonderful it is, if it's not where Yahweh wants me to be, it's not where I'm supposed to be. Is it edifying the church? Is the church being built up by it? 1 Corinthians 14 and Ephesians 4. All gifts are for the edification of the church. And we just went through a Bible study about all the spiritual gifts. I really hope people were paying attention. Every single person who is in this church, who is in their church, spiritual gifts. That's why it's not good to be a rogue sheep, traveling from one flock to another, church to church to church. Where are you serving? You must be building up your local church. But if you don't have a local church, we always here and then there and then there. We have work in the church. That's why the whole idea of staying home and having church on the TV, unless it's in like COVID situations like now, or you are incapacitated, or you can't, that makes sense. But if you can move and can walk, and you must be building up the church and doing the work that has been assigned to you. So what if you do not know what your spiritual gift is? I want to know, but I want to do the work, but I don't know what it is. So how do I find out what my spiritual gift is? 1 Timothy 4:14, do not neglect the gift that is in you, which was given to you by prophecy, with the laying on of hands of the eldership. Timothy didn't know what his gift was. This is what I'm taking from this passage. And perhaps he was neglecting it. But it says, with the laying, if you don't know, ask the elders, have them pray over you, lay hands on you. Through prophecy, perhaps Yahweh will speak to them. But sometimes, like Pastor Beth taught us, there may be gifts that you are naturally, if I may use that term, doing this work. And it may not seem like what many people call gifts, but that's why ask the elders. It is their job to be overseers of the flock. What does neglecting your gift look like? This is neglect, ameleo in Greek. Means without. So it means without concern. I don't really care about it. And you may not say that, but your actions can show it. You don't care about your spiritual gift because It doesn't matter as long as you're here, you listen to the sermon, and you go home. So the pastor won't get on my case. I've kept the Sabbath. What do you want else from me? That's the wrong attitude, saints. Unaffected, viewing something as being without significance, looking down on the work that Yahweh gave you. Yeshua said, my meat is to do the will of the one who sent me. That's what should be in our hearts. That, oh Yahweh, I desire to serve you. That whatever you have for me, let me do that with gladness of heart. In closing, we are going to look at the parable of the good and faithful servants, also known as the parable of the talents. Parable of the good and faithful servant. So, for it, the kingdom of heaven will be like a man going on a journey who called and so a man. That's Yahshua. Going on a journey. He's going on a journey up in heaven. Who called his servants? We are called, right? The church is called. Entrusted to them the church. Right? So there you are, you know. I don't know if you're the guy in red, the guy or girl in yellow. It's a guy, I think. Or the guy in blue. But you are up there, okay? You are up there. And there's the master, Yahshua. He's about to leave, and he gives each one. So let's read on. To one, he gave 5 talents. To another, 2. To another, 1. 2, each according to what? His ability. Then he went his way. Each one has been given grace, or according to the ability. See, these servants had a relationship with the master already, so they're already in his employ. They're born again. They're his servants. Each one according to his ability. So we thank Yahweh for any saint who moves in the Holy Spirit performing his gift, and we don't, look at the human side and say, this one does this, but this one. If it's for Yahweh, it is good. And we encourage it. Now, these are talents given, spiritual gift. One is given 5, 1, 2. One is given 1. According to their ability, the master knows his servants. And he has given them grace to do the work, to work on his property. His property. So, and then he went away. Yeshua went up into the heavenly. 16. He who had received the 5 talents did what? Went at once and traded with them. So Yeshua told him at once, started to work on his spiritual gifts. And he made 5 talents more. Have you ever tried to double your money? Like, have you ever seriously said, okay, I have $10 and I'm going to go out there, and at the end of the day, I will have $20 plus the 10. Try it. Doubling your profits is pretty hard. So we know that this servant here, and he says, who went at once, traded with them, but this at once meaning immediately. It doesn't mean he made it in one day. It meant over time. Because we will see later that the master was gone for a long time. So the servant was working on his spiritual gift, working on the talents and going out and trading. And he made 5 talents more. There he is. He's happy doing his spiritual gift. So he worked on his spiritual gift. And as we work, the Spirit provides more. And, as a preacher, sometimes you preach like terrible sermons. One time I preached this just bad. I mean, the sermon was just bad. So Mama D and, Leonardo told me, oh, you got to do this and this. And, so I heard from them, so I started to have these little pictures up there, try to keep the attention of people who nowadays are so used to immediate things, instant coffee, microwave. I got to keep your attention. This helps, So it can help with being able to speak properly. And sometimes I stutter and I have to, so Yahweh has given me this, and you gotta work on it. You gotta work on it. So it's okay to go out into the world and learn skills and tips to help your ministry, right? To help your ministry. If I am a teacher, go out and read books about Greek and about Hebrew and it will help your ministry. It will help your ministry. And whatever it is, if you are given to hospitality, you can always become better. See, the gift that Yahweh has given you, you can build upon it and work on it. Everyone here has a gift. You have to know your gift, saints. You have to know it. So he went out and he made 5 talents more. That is a lot of work. But we believe, right, that we can do all things through Yahshua who strengthens me. All things. So Yahshua, who promised to be with us every single time, help us do this work. Verse 17. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. It's not about the amount, but about the work, because they both doubled their money. So each according to his ability. So they both worked equally hard. Verse 18. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Put it away. Have a spiritual gift, didn't care about it. The master was gone for a long time. If this man was given a talent to work on, what do you think he was doing the whole time? He wasn't serving the master. The talent was hidden in the ground. He was about doing his own thing, doing his own way. He was doing him, doing me. They were not being paid. So that talent, he could have used that to go and work on it, and he would make money based on that and have a return. But he was doing his own thing. Now, after a long time, verse 19, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them, settling accounts the day of judgment. After a long time. And he, verse 20, who had received the 5 talents came forward bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant, kept the faith. Listen to what the master said, and even the master was gone for a long time. We don't know, 20 years, more than that, but he was faithful and kept on working with what he was given. And the master said, you have been faithful over a little, I will set you over much. That's a reward. Enter into the joy of your master. That's a reward. But because he was faithful with what he was given, he didn't do his own thing. Faithful with what he was given. 22, and he also who had the 2 talents came forward saying, Master, you delivered to me 2 talents. Here I have made 2 talents more. You gave me this spiritual gift, and I honored it, and I loved it, and I worked on it. And behold, here it is. Do you not know, saints, that if you're edifying the church, that edification, you build up a brother, that brother could go up and build up somebody else, and build up somebody else, and build up. So the work that you do, it has returns. Has returns. We may not see it here, but Yahweh, he knows all things. It has returns. You may have spoken to somebody about the gospel. You've even forgotten the person. But that person, the Spirit worked in him. And then he went over and spoke to somebody else who got saved. You get credit for the work that you did. And we do this not for the reward, but because we love the Master. And it is a work we are given to do. His master said to him, verse 23, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. That's a reward. Enter into the joy of your master. That's a reward. Whether it's 5 talents, 2, but to the one who received it, the 2 or the 5, he or she was happy and worked on it. I didn't say, you know what? I I just want to preach. That's what I want to do. I haven't been called to do that, but I just want to do it because I just feel it. You must be called into Yahweh's work. I'm telling you, saints, you must, because there are many people who want to be pastors because they see what the world shows as pastors. And you come to the work that you have to be given the grace to be a shepherd and the grace to be in any ministerial work. But each person, I must tell you this, is a minister because we must all serve in the kingdom of Yahweh. We must all serve one another. Verse 24. He also who had received the 1 talent came forward saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours. What did the master say? Oh, thank you. At least I got back what I had. No, he didn't say that. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant, lazy. You did not pursue what I gave you to do. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own interest. At least you should have put that little talent in the bank, and at least you've been watching the money. But you did nothing like that. You didn't care about it. You put it in the ground. You forgot about your spiritual gift. You didn't care about it. This, I believe, is the wood, hay, or straw. That you should have put the little talent in the bank. At least you're watching over it. You could do more if you work on it, but for some reason, I don't know, you put it in the bank, at least it's growing interest. Should have done that at the very least. So, the master said, take the talent from him and give it to him who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. We have been given spiritual gifts. You didn't have to work for it. It's a gift. But we should not neglect it and act like I am saved, but not caring for the church, not caring for the work that we have been given. And with what we've been given, be attentive, fulfill your ministry, do the work. And if you don't know, ask the elders. I'm telling you, it is their job to oversee the flock, to know the spiritual condition of each and every believer, because they must give an account to Yahshua when he returns. I don't say that you must be like, put the talent in the bank. I say be like the first 2. Work on your spiritual gift. If you don't know it, you have to ask. Find what is it? And if you're not sure, is it edifying the church? I'm not saying don't stand up, but just the work that will be blessed is that which edifies the church, builds the church up. Verse 30, and cast the worthless servant into outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. We do not neglect the ministry that Yahweh has given to us. We do not. We work on it. And we ask the Spirit to give us the power, the strength to do the work. Saints. Next slide. Fulfill your ministry. You have a ministry, fulfill it. A calling. Not what you want to do, a calling. Has Yahweh called you to this? And if you're not sure, Ask the elders. They'll tell you. Your work must edify the church. Edify the church. May Yahweh be with you. Hallelujah.